All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are attempting attempt number 2 at streaming today. Please let me know if you can hear me. Type it in the chat. This is the second time we have had technical difficulties in the last couple of weeks. And it's very strange. Something weird happens when you have a podcast or a YouTube channel. All right, you can hear me. Perfect. Something strange often happens. Like you don't change anything in your setup, literally nothing. You don't restart your computer. You don't like change the plugs. You don't unplug and plug anything else in. Nothing changes. You don't change your web browser. Like nothing changes. And randomly you will get hitches. New laptop, like nothing, it's not that new, but like a year-old laptop. And this is like such a consistent thing across literally anyone that I've ever had or talked to who does a YouTube channel or a podcast. Like tech issues, my guys, my God, you have no idea. It just randomly, no, Rishav, it's not that. It's not that at all. There is literally nothing else open. There is nothing that is different. In the web browser or the thing that I'm using to record, when I hit test, my microphone works perfectly. I'm not muted. Like, it's just random technical stuff. And this is what happens with, like I said, everyone that has a stream or a YouTube channel or something. They'll just be like, all right, today Twitch is just being a bitch for no reason. So these are the fun challenges we overcome. As I said when I was muted, when I spoke for about 3 minutes, and then you all said, hey, yo, dude, we can't hear you. How you doing? I hope you're all well. Feel free to start leaving your questions and things you want me to answer. Feel free to start sharing your wins. Dr. Chad, you said before that your win was being you. And I said, yeah, you're kind of joking there, but you're also not. One of the challenges and also the reward of life is being ourselves. It can be quite a challenge to be yourself. You feel like maybe you're not good enough. You feel like you shouldn't do certain things and you made mistakes and you fucked up and you're unlovable and you have doubts and insecurities. It can be a challenge to really like yourself. It's a challenge for the vast majority of human beings, including myself at times. It's something I'm still working on. But the reward, if we can settle into being us, because we are stuck being this, you're in this body and this brain, or you're stuck with this body and this brain, as far as I can tell, for your entire life. And so if you can settle into that and say, okay, I'm going to be with this person, with this, for the rest of my life. I may as well learn to enjoy this. I may as well learn to like this mind, figure out how it works, like this body, figure out how it works, how to make the most of it, and just enjoy that. If you can settle into that, that's your reward. So yes, Dr. Chad, your biggest win is that you get to be you. And who better to be you than you? You are the only person on the entire planet who can be Dr. Chad Broman the Broest. Yeah, go out and be the best Dr. Chad Broman the Broest that you can be. All right, Rishav, hello. Phoenix, hello. Dr. Chad, obviously, hello. Phoenix, all right, Phoenix, fine. We will do your homework for you. But last time I tried this, remember? It didn't work. I couldn't get to meetup. I couldn't get to meetup in your area. It kept giving me the wrong meetup. So can you do me a favor, Mr. Phoenix? Can you give me a link? Just copy paste it in the chat to like the homepage for your city, or I think you're in San Francisco, but for some reason, every time I try and find San Francisco, it gives me like San Francisco, Brazil. Yeah, I know it eventually worked, but can you save me a bit of time and just put it in the chat, like a link to the page for the results of San Francisco, and we'll have a look for you. Rishav. Yeah, you already wrote that. I saw that. But yeah, Phoenix, give us a link, brother, and we will have a look. I do believe on Meetup, on meetup.com, if you're trying to search for in-person events rather than online events, I believe you can filter by in-person only. Bearing in mind there might be a little bit less over Christmas, as we said, but I would still have a look and see what's on there. But yeah, while you post that link, I can't remember if I shared these pictures with you guys and gals of Imi and like a cool museum that she's gone to. So tell me if I've already shared these. But she went to this cool, weird art gallery museum where all the stuff was very trippy. And if you have that thing called tryptophobia where you hate holes, you're really going to hate the next minute or two. But yeah, I found this really cool. This really like crazy Alice in Wonderland type place. Well, that's just her with a silly hat. Look at this shit. This is so cool to me. Cool little art. Look at that shit. Trippy. That's just something else I'll share later. All right, what do you got? Mr. Dr. Chad also says Eventbrite works as well. Yes, so Eventbrite is another website similar to Meetup. But what I found with Eventbrite is there are often a lot more like, obviously it's a website for events, but I've found some of them less social. I would still check Eventbrite as well. But yeah, Meetup is my first choice and then Eventbrite second. Phoenix, you say Christmas doesn't help too. There's this board game meetup I've been to, but that's on pause. Fair enough. When that comes back, go back to that. And since you are still working on social skills, like social skills is the thing you care about right now, Phoenix, like correct? You want to meet some people. You want to have some guys and some girls that will support you, push you to greatness, all of that kind of stuff. You can still practice the social skills, even if it's not technically at meetups. And so you could walk around outside for like 15 minutes and just try smiling at a bunch of people. Try giving some compliments to people. If that's too much for you, that's fine. Just walk around smiling at some people and try and do that. Like you can be practicing these social skills, even if you're not going to meetups. You say, all I'm thinking about is getting laid and the rest is to tide myself over. I know you care about that, like great goal, brilliant. But you, as we've talked about many times, you have all of us here on these live streams caring about you, pushing you, encouraging you, being there for you, listening to you, like caring about you. But these live streams are going to stop in like 2 weeks from now, a week and a half from now. And yeah, you have the comments, but I'm not always going to be there to like reply to you. Neither is all the other people. They'll reply to your comments from time to time. But look how much you have benefited from having a bunch of people that give a shit about you in the last like 3 weeks of doing these streams. That's what we're trying to encourage you to work towards. Like, I know I want to go out and get laid, blah, blah, blah. But like, that's such a secondary goal to, I want a bunch of people that will care about me. I just want to feel like I'm okay. I want, yeah, exactly what Breeman just said. This is what I'm trying to get at. Getting laid can be a great goal. Having sex can be a great goal. Connecting with the opposite gender or the same gender, if you're into that, can be incredible, of course. But you're trying to do that because you're trying to feel better. You're trying to like yourself. You want to get laid because you think that will give you validation. You think a bunch of people will clap for you and go like, yeah, you got laid. And they will. Like, lots of people will. You think that connecting with women will fill a bit of a void in your heart. And it will, or it can. But don't forget the mission here. The reason that you're wanting to have sex with people is because you're saying, I want to feel good. I want to be happy. That's the reason anyone has any goal, right? Like, obviously, no shit. That's why we have a goal. So hopefully we can feel a bit happier. So don't forget that happiness is the mission. And it isn't just about getting laid. You say, all I'm thinking about is getting laid. Phoenix, this is gonna really blow your mind. You don't give a fuck about getting laid. You just want to be happy. And you believe that getting laid will help you get there. And it might. I don't fucking know. Like, I don't know your pathway in life. It might help you be happier. But happiness is what you care about. Every human being on this planet cares about 3 main things. Every human being wants to be happy. Every human being wants to be loved. And every human being wants to be understood and to understand. That's what everyone wants. Loved, happy, understood, and to understand. And so that might happen if you go out and have a lot of sex. But it might not. Or it might happen if you go out and make a bunch of friends. Or it might happen if you build a business. It might happen if you love yourself. It might happen if you go to the gym. Like, there's all these different pathways. But don't forget the mission, my brother, which is, I want to be happy. And this isn't just about getting laid. Like, this was never about getting laid. Like, any of you guys listening, this was never about sticking your penis inside a vagina. Any of you women listening, Diane, I can see you there in the chat. This was never about having some guy like you or love you. No, this was about you and happiness and love and all of that deeper stuff. That's why we have any goal in the first place. So, yes, Phoenix, I understand you want to have sex. Brilliant, beautiful. It's very fun. It's very rewarding. I think you know that. Like, you obviously know that. But going out there and talking to strangers and making friends, going to meet up, will help you with that. I think you know that too. But yeah, don't forget the mission, brother. The mission is happiness. So let's maximize happiness in whatever way we possibly can. That's why we're encouraging you to make friends. What do friends do? A big part of what friends do for you is help you be happy. And when you're sad, they pick you up and go, oh, you're sad. Okay, bro, let's talk about it. Let's grab a beer. That's why Chad and me and Rishav and, Breeman here and everyone else is gently nudging you towards, hey, man, go to some meetups. Go meet some people. We promise you'll feel better if you have friends in your life. It can be a lot easier or a lot harder to see the impact that friends would have on your life when you don't have any. Like, because you're like, yeah, I know I could have people that really care about me. I know that sounds nice. But it's like, no, when you've lived your life with a bunch of people that really freaking give a shit about you, like think about how it's felt to come to these like live streams every single day. Like, how has this felt? It's probably felt really nice. Probably haven't felt so alone. You probably go to bed, or I don't know what time you're coming to these, but every evening when you go to bed, you're probably thinking like, oh, I can't wait till tomorrow's live stream. Yeah, I get to talk to the guys and talk to the girls, and it's going to be fun. Like, you probably got something to look forward to. That's what friends are. That's a big part of what friends have to offer. So yeah, we have a lot of coaching clients that come to the program, and they literally have no friends. And they're just like, yeah, maybe friends would help. And we're like, no, this is like your number one mission. And they're like, but I came here to get laid. And we're like, I know, but your only mission right now is to make some friends. We want you to go out there and make at least one, if not 2 or 3 friends. That is the number one mission for the next 2 weeks. Do that. They go do that and they're like, holy shit, all of a sudden it's so much easier to wake up in the morning and be excited. It's so much easier to go out there and talk to women. It's so much easier to work on my dating life because I have a bunch of people that care about me and support me. So it makes such a difference, but it can be hard to know that when you don't have a lot of friends, or when you have some friends, but you don't spend like a lot of time with them. So yeah, that's why we keep pushing you. Expert Cheek Clapper says, hello. Well, hello to you too. Phoenix, you say they do that, as in friends do love and support you. Yeah, if you find friends that are capable of that. You say, I remember them not knowing what the hell to do with me. So this is beautiful. You can take ownership of that. It's not necessarily their job to mind read and know what you want. None of us can mind read and help you. You have to tell us what you want, and you have. You, Phoenix, have been very open and honest with us. The way that you have talked to all of us, we are trying to encourage you to talk to friends about that stuff. We are like trying to encourage you to say to friends, hey, I'd really appreciate this, or hey, can you help me with this? Like we've done with, I believe, Rishav, who was like, I'm jealous of this female friend that I know who's like partying and she's cool and she's rich and all of that. And we said, why don't you just talk to her about that and be like, hey, can you teach me? So we're trying to get you to open up the way that you have in these streams with those people. And by the way, some people still won't know how to help you, or they won't know how to be your friend, or they won't know how to like chill and hang out with you. Brilliant. Go talk to more people. Like there's plenty of emotionally open and welcoming human beings out there who, in your words, will know what the hell to do with me. Also, look at the phrasing that you've said here, Phoenix. I don't know if you know you do this, but what did I say to Chad before? I said part of this whole journey of life, the challenge is to be ourselves, and that is also the reward. In other words, learning to like yourself, learning to be kind to yourself and all of that. Phoenix, look how you wrote this. Like everybody else, let's have a little dig into this. Phoenix, you literally said, these people don't know what the hell to do with me. You're making it sound like you're some diseased like leper or something. You're making it sound like you're some big fucking ticking time bomb that's going to blow up and like bring everyone else down. Like, look at the languaging that you use when you describe yourself. They don't know what the hell to do with me. You're not a problem that needs to be fucking solved, or you're not radioactive and everyone needs to put on a hazmat suit when they get anywhere close to you. Phoenix, you're a human being. Talk to yourself like, or talk about yourself like a human being, bro. It's not about them knowing what the hell to do with me. Maybe they just didn't know how to communicate. Maybe they're a bit awkward. But you're phrasing it like there's something fucked up about me and everybody has to put on gloves and be delicate around me because I'm so fucked up and like people don't know what the hell to do with me. No, you probably just met some people that weren't very good about at talking about deeper stuff. That's it. Like that's what happened, or that could be what happened. But you're taking that burden on and saying there must be something wrong with me. You do go on to say a little bit more where you say maybe too much trauma dumping on my part. There is no such thing as too much. It depends on the other person. Now, I'm not advocating that you go out there and just start pouring everything out, but I have met a ton of people, male, female, people I've slept with, people I'm friends with, that do open up about their stuff. I don't call it trauma dumping because that's you, once again, saying, look how fucked up I am. I'm trauma dumping on people. No, you're opening up about stuff you're vulnerable about. And some people will be able to handle that. Look how much all of us here on these live streams have been able to handle this stuff. At no point have we ever said to you, Phoenix, stop trauma dumping. We've never labeled it as such. It's you being vulnerable. And there are tons of people out there that when you open up about your shit, they won't call it trauma dumping. They'll be like, oh yeah, cool. Like, bro, that's fucking brave of you. Like, I've hung out with people, and in the first time we hang out, they tell me about times that when they were, assaulted as a child. I'm trying to phrase it in a nice way. Sexually assaulted as a kid or something, and they just start telling me about that. And I'm like, damn, this is fucking brave of you to talk about. That could easily be trauma dumping, but I don't label it as such. Now, if you are at a point where you say, I don't think I want to open up about that deep stuff the first time I meet someone. Brilliant, beautiful, great. That's you doing what you want. And so part of how you do this when you're talking about stuff that is currently affecting you and that you're emotional about is you take ownership of it. So I've done plenty of videos about this. You can search on my channel. Just type in the word vulnerable. And I've also done a bunch of podcasts on my Spotify. Just search for the word vulnerable. And I talk about how to be vulnerable while still being masculine, because that's probably something you care about because you're a man. Most people do. Most men do. So you open up about the shit that you want to open up, and then you talk about what you're doing about it. So you say, I don't fucking know, whatever it might be. I have no friends, and many times I feel lonely. I feel like no woman will ever love me. But yeah, I've been going to these live streams and like working on it and watching this like coach guy who's like a life coach, and I'm in this community. It's really good. Like that's what I'm doing to work on it. So you state you call it trauma, but I just call it vulnerability. State your vulnerability, but then talk about what you're doing here. So take ownership of it. Like there is no such thing as trauma dumping. Like it's not that there's not a thing, but like rather than labeling it as trauma dumping, see it as like I'm talking about my problems and then I'm doing nothing to explain that I'm working on it. And for a lot of people, that is a little bit heavy for them. There are lots of people that don't care. Like I don't care. You can talk about all of your stuff and I'll just be like, cool, like I can help you because I'm a coach. But yes, there are lots of people that if you open up about your problems and your struggles and all of that, and then don't say anything about what you're doing to work on it, they will call that trauma dumping. And so the easy solution there is talk about the stuff and then say, here's what I'm doing to work on it. Or, hey, do you have any suggestions? Because I'm trying to improve it. That's you working on it. Yeah, asking for suggestions on how to improve something is working on it. So yeah, dude, don't stress too much about like trauma dumping. You're not the burden that you might think that you are, but talk about what you're doing to solve some of these problems. And yes, to answer your question originally, I promise you there are lots of friends that will care about you, dude. If all of us can care about you and we don't even fucking know you, man, we don't know what you look like. We've never talked to you face to face. All we're doing is communicating over the internet with text. Like you're literally pixels on my screen and I care deeply about you. You're pixels on Rishav's and Expert Cheek Clappers and Chad's screen, and they care about you, bro. Diane cares about you. There's so many people here that care about you when you are literally just pixels on our screen, and you've helped us care this much about you. Why? Because you've been vulnerable. If you hadn't been vulnerable, if you hadn't opened up, why would we care about you? We wouldn't know you. Part of getting to know someone is opening up and risking being hurt or risking them rejecting you or saying you trauma dumped. And so if we can care about you when we barely even freaking know you, imagine what people in person can do when they actually get to meet the beautiful human that is you. But part of that means risking someone thinking that you're trauma dumping, risking someone rejecting you, risking someone thinking that you're needy or whatever it might be. And yes, there are ways to be more independent and, like I said, be masculine and vulnerable at the same time, which is what I advocate. But yeah, you're doing a good job, brother. I promise. There's lots of people out there that will love you and care about you. Brandon says, hello. Hello, Brandon. AV says, what's up? Hello. Are you AV, my past coaching client or our past coaching client? You go on to say, first stream I've been able to catch, ending my voyeurism streak today. Thank you. for not just sitting there perving on our live stream. All of us who show up to basically every single live stream. Obviously, I'm here 100% of the time. It would be weird if I wasn't. Rishav is here. Expert Cheat Clap is here. Phoenix. Who else? Obviously, who else have I forgotten? Phoenix, Rishav, Diane's here pretty much all the time. Chad. Did I forget Chad? Anyway, all of us here who are here every single streak, every single day, we welcome you. Nothing but love for you. You say you've been watching to these for the last 20 days. Awesome. Amazing. Rishav says, welcome. See, look at that. Love. Welcome. Rishav also says, feeling super positive today. I love that. Like, I am still living in my mind, but I have more hope. Positivity does make a difference. Yeah, for sure. Like, go watch 50 horror movies in a row. Listen to pop music where they're crying about, like, why won't you take me back? Like, please, I love you. I miss you. I can't go on. Like, life, I should just fucking kill myself because someone broke up with me. Help. I'm sad. And then watch the news. And then what else could you do? Tune into political shit and then go on Twitter and read all the comments, like people's replies. Go to YouTube and read all the comments. Like, go do that for a month and then tell me how you feel. And then go listen to like Byron Katie's podcast and watch all of my content and go read You Can't Afford the Luxury of a Negative Thought and go listen to some Buddhists and listen, like go to a yoga meetup or something where everyone's like happy and peaceful. Do that for a month and then tell me how you feel. It's like such an obvious thing, but sometimes we get caught up in the negativity and we don't realize we can just tune it out because it takes practice. It took me a lot of practice too. Dr. Chad says, AV, hi, ex-Voya. Yeah, ex-Voya indeed. Rishav, it's 2:30 a.m. here in India. This is worth it. I will obviously do whatever you want. I appreciate you being here. But you're very welcome if you ever want to, Rishav, to like skip these and just tell us your comments or whatever and type them in the chat. You can type comments in the chat like hours before the stream goes live and then I can answer them. But either way, I'm glad you're here. I did a seminar many years ago it was like a business seminar. It was like a boot camp, I guess, like a 5-day, 4-day boot camp online on Zoom. And yeah, I had to get up, or I chose to get up at like 2 a.m. and it lasted till like 6 a.m. So really, really, really messed with my sleep. But my God, was that worth it? Yeah, lots of times we say like, oh, I can't because it will mess with my sleep. And obviously prioritize your sleep. But yeah, I'm glad you're here. AV, you say, yes, that is me, my past coaching client. Well, welcome. I will not say your name, although I'm pretty sure we did say your name in the interview. But I'll keep you anonymous. You can be Mr. AV, which is like, yeah, fine. I'll keep you anonymous. Glad you're here. Diane says, my Dom actually wrote again. Why have you put him in quotes now? My Dom, like he's not your Dom. My Dom actually wrote again. Haha. Commenting on my sexy pic. So he is still interested almost in my body. Now I make him wait for my reply. Diane, what do we talk about on this channel? You don't have to make people wait. You don't have to play games just because they are. You can rise above that and you can reply when you want to. I wouldn't advocate for making someone wait just because they were busy. I think at that point you start like rolling around in the mud and you just get dirty. And so to see, I would advise you to be better than that and say, he took a while to reply because he's probably busy. I can take a while to reply if I want to, but I'm allowed to reply immediately. It doesn't have to say something bad about me. But yeah, you want to say, watch so many. No, Diane. No, Diane. No. No. What are any of us here going to say to you, Diane? Guys, feel free to write something write something nice and loving to Diane. But what would all of you? I'm more interested in all of you because you probably all know what I'm going to say to this. I would love to hear what all of you have to say to this. So Diane says, I watched a bunch of YouTube videos on how to make a guy chase you or a girl chase you. They say, absence, make him wait. Like, what do you guys think? So be nice in the replies, obviously. Like a bunch of you have probably asked these same questions. I used to do this stuff too, Diane, so I promise we'll be nice. But I'm more interested in all of your advice to Diane on this. And I get that feeling of like someone did something to me, so I want to do the same thing. I've just found in life is infinitely kinder when I let go of my grievances. And I say, I have no enemies. I have no grievances. I have no one that I'm going to make wait. And if I reply quickly and someone else takes 2 days to reply, which happens a lot. Like, Diane, this is not just you. I cannot tell you how many girls just take several days to reply. But at some point you realize, wait, they weren't making me wait. They were either just busy, like maybe they were making me wait, in which case I wouldn't date that person. But most of the time, they were just busy, or they're not a quick texter. And when you actually talk to people and ask them, a lot of the time, if you actually speak to them, they'll say, no, I feel guilty that I take so long to reply to text messages. I have coached guys through replying to text messages quicker. Like I've literally had guys in the coaching program who say, I feel so guilty that I take 2 days to reply. And then the longer I see that message sitting there and I haven't replied to it, the more guilty I feel. So I avoid it and I go and do other things. And then finally the guilt builds up and then I reply. And then they reply quickly again. And then I feel bad again. I'm overwhelmed. Like I've literally coached guys through that process to reply a little quicker. And so this is just like a human being thing where people struggle sometimes to reply, or they're busy, or they're not super into you. Sometimes it's that. And sometimes they're making you chase. But this is one of those things where it's like anger or resentment is like holding onto a hot coal and expecting the other person to get like to get revenge. You are the one who gets burned. There's a saying, cut off the nose to spite the face. You know, resentment is like throwing acid at someone, but you're the one holding it and you get burned. So yeah. Anyway, what other advice did you guys and girls give? Please tell me I don't have to do that 2-day rule anymore. I was always glad when women broke it for me. Yeah, and what happens when you play games like this, like when you say, I'm going to make them wait, is then they start doing the same thing. And like you're both just now rolling around in the mud, getting dirty. But life I've found is a lot easier when you find the people that reply immediately. Like Imi replies pretty quickly. Bronwyn, the girl that we've been dating for 2 years, replies pretty quickly. Something I specifically screen for. Like I literally filter out people that take a while to reply. Like I like people to reply within, I don't know, if they're at work, fine, like 8 hours, 10 hours or whatever. But like on a normal day, I like people that will reply within, I don't know, 5 hours, depending on what they're doing. You know, they might be busy, they might be doing shit, but I like people that will reply quickly. Bronwyn is one of those people. She'll reply within like fucking 10 minutes. Like as soon as she sees the message, if she's asleep or working or whatever, fine. But as soon as she sees it, she will reply. Emmy is like that too. And if they aren't able to reply, they'll say, hey, I'll reply it later. I do the same. I do the same with my coaching clients in the group. There are so many times when I'm busy doing a lot of shit and I'll reply to someone and I'll say, hey, I'll reply to this properly later. But for now, really good job. You're doing great. Keep working on this. I'll give you a proper reply later. Like I tell people, I'm busy, I'll reply later. I do the same with my friends. I'll just record a voice message really quick and be like, hey, bro, I'll reply to this properly. I'm just busy right now. But yeah, I love you, bro. I'll hit you up in the next couple of days. I'll do that with emails too. I'll get back to you in the next couple of days. Just busy, but yeah, like, I appreciate you sending this. So life's just much easier like that. And there are plenty of people that don't like others to wait. But yeah, there are plenty of people that do like people to wait. And so I would generally speaking, is just a general thing, not spend time with those people. Dr. Chad says, Phoenix, I hereby declare you free of the demon of the 2-day rule. Absolutely. Let's all do a little prayer. We're saying goodbye to the 2-day rule. You can play around with the 2-day rule if you want to. Sounds like a bunch of bullshit to me. Sounds fucking stressful. Like, Chad, I don't know about you, brother, but how goddamn stressful does it sound to think like, fuck, I want to reply to this person, but I can't reply for 2 days because they'll think I'm needy. And then you have to live in that fear of like, fuck, what if something else I'm doing they think is needy? Fuck, being needy must be the worst thing in the world. I'm so scared. You have to live in that fear. And then what? You have to remind yourself 2 days later. Do you set a calendar reminder? Like 2 days later, you're like, hey, don't forget to reply to that person. Then you have to be like thinking about it for the next 2 days. Like, fuck, I hope I don't forget to reply to them. But then like, oh God, do you know what happens when you wait 2 days to reply to someone? You're literally communicating to them, I'm not that into you. And a lot of the time, because I used to do this stuff, I used to play around with this like making people wait stuff so much because I thought it made me like an alpha male Chad. And all these girls would be like, wow, he's so busy. Yeah, lots of them think, wow, he's so busy. Why would I date him or sleep with him? He's too busy for me. Like he's off doing other shit. He's probably off fucking other girls or whatever, which I was. Why would I spend time with him? And so a lot of people just fall off. And then you're like, yeah, look how much of an alpha male I am. All these people are leaving. And it's like, wait, but like, why do I want people to leave? If they leave, that's fine. I'm okay with that. But like, why am I trying to make that happen? So yeah, at some point you just drop the games. as Brandon said, playing games like that takes more effort. Yeah, isn't it so funny how much effort it takes? But you're doing it because you're like, I want dating to be easier for me. So I'm going to introduce a bunch of games that make it way harder and way more effort and mean that the best that happens is I lose. Like when you play games in dating, you think you win, but you really just lost. Or you won at the game of rolling around in the mud and getting all dirty. And a lot of people like that. Like a lot of people like that. I used to like it. I got such a big payoff. My ego got such a big payoff from convincing myself that I won by playing games. But really, it was just painful. And at some point, I dropped all of that. And I was like, I just want the women that want to be here. I just want them to like me. And if they don't like me, then I want them to leave. I'm sick of like being with people that I can't even tell if they like me. And they definitely can't tell if I like them because I'm playing games too. And at some point, I was like, what if I just find the people where I can say, hey, I like you. And they're like, I like you too. And then you're like, cool. Like, I literally screen for the people that will say that either before the first date or on the first date. Like, I'm going to be honest with you and be like, hey, you're really pretty. You seem really cool. I'm enjoying chatting to you. Do you want to grab a drink and a coffee and get to know each other? And then on the first date, I'm like, hey, you're doing such a good job on this date. I really like you. Like, you're making me like you a lot. And then they say, I'm really liking you and Imi. I'm liking both of you. Yeah, I like you guys a lot too. And then I'll be like, yo, can I kiss you? And then they'll go, yes. They always say yes at that point. You make out. Do you want to kiss Imi? Yeah, of course I do. And then they make out. And then I'm like, wow, you're a really good kisser. This date's going so good right now. And they'll be like, yeah, I think it is too. And then your whole fucking dating thing is like that. Then the second date, you're like, yo, do you want to have sex? Do you want to come over and we'll have sex? We'll do BDSM, we'll play around, we'll do that. Yeah, I'd love that. That'd be amazing. Yeah, great, cool. And then we're doing that. And then afterwards, how was that? Did you have fun? Is there anything you'd like to do different? Yeah, I loved it. It was so, you guys made me feel amazing. Yeah. And then after that, when they go home, we text them, hey, like, that was amazing. That was like fucking good sex. Yeah. Like, we'd really like to see you again. You know, let us know if you want to see us again. And then they either say yes or they say no. And then I know exactly where I stand. And I don't have to guess. I literally never have to guess. And there are times when people get busy, or maybe they're not so into you anymore, and they take a lot longer to reply to text messages. I've had that happen recently, like where a woman will take a lot longer to reply to text messages. And after it happens for a week or two, and I'm not really sure where I stand or where we stand, I don't know if she wants to keep seeing us. I don't know if she's just busy. I would just say it. I would just be like, hey, I really like honesty in dating. I like to be upfront and, know where we stand. You used to reply to the text messages really quickly. Now it seems like you're often taking like 3 days to reply to a text message and you seem too busy to meet us. If you're too busy to meet and life's like going crazy, or even if you're just not really feeling the chemistry or the attraction anymore, just let us know. Like, no hard feelings. I promise we won't get hurt. It's all good. Like, sometimes people just aren't that into each other anymore. Just let us know. Or if it's that you're busy, you can let us know that. Like, let us know what it is. And sometimes they're like, oh God, I'm really sorry. It's just that I have exams and I've been so stressed and I'm moving and like, I really want to see you guys. I'm just busy. I'm like, sweet, great. How about you send us a message when you want to meet up with us again? And if you don't want to, that's cool too. No expectations. Take as long as you need. Take fucking 6 months if you want to. Do whatever you got to do. But thanks for being honest. And sometimes they do hit us up a couple of weeks or months later and everything goes back to normal. Or sometimes they don't. And they'll message us like 3 months later and say, yeah, I think that I'm just too busy, or life's crazy, or I'm just not super into this. Great. Now I know where I stand. I don't have to guess. Like, life's easier when you don't have to guess. Phoenix, as you go on to say, waiting 2 days probably cost me some second dates. Yeah, and I wouldn't sit there like living in fear of like the one that got away. Oh my God, I lost some dates. Like, it's not about that. But yes, like, same as you, dude. Like, it's not super attractive to plenty of people if you make them wait. Phoenix also goes on to just say the very eloquent and blunt, and I love this, Phoenix. Don't do it, it's dumb. Yeah. We could probably... I'm sitting here waxing lyrical for hours about like, here's all the reasons why I don't do that. And Phoenix is just straight to the point, like a fucking sledgehammer just coming straight in there. Don't do it, it's dumb. I agree, Phoenix. Phoenix, I love you, brother. Don't do it, it's dumb. It's fucking dumb. Yeah. AV says, Diane, I think you can find a guy where it's 100% clear he's into you. And that will feel so effortless and refreshing that you'll completely forget about feeling the need to play text games. Yeah, and so for a lot of you, a lot of what we're talking about here feels hypothetical. You're like, but what would it even feel like to have someone that made it abundantly clear that they like me? You know, like Imi is like that. Bronwyn is like that. Most of the other girls that we've ever dated, we screen really hard for people where it's so effortless. Like I do that first. Like I am the one saying, by the way, we really like you. We think you're cool. We'd love to grab that coffee. And then we go for a coffee. I'm the one on the first date saying, you're doing such a great job right now. This date's going so good. Or if I can see they're nervous, like they're shaking, I'm like, hey, are you a little bit nervous right now? And they're like, yeah, I'm really nervous. I'm like, that's okay. I promise you don't need to be perfect. Imi and I sometimes get nervous. You know, Imi used to get terrified. I used to be so scared on dates. You have no idea. I would be like shaking. I would be like praying that the other person didn't fucking hate me or that I didn't say something stupid. And then she'd say, yeah, that's like what I'm worrying about. And I'm like, I promise we're very non-judgmental. We have no expectations of you, only curiosity. Like we're just here to meet you. And like, I promise we're not going to reject you. Like, even if we all decide that we don't want to go ahead, we'll be nice in how we say that. Like, I promise this isn't an interview, okay? We're just here to have fun. And that helps them relax. Like, I'm the one that's going first with those honest conversations. But I promise that all of you are allowed to have people that you date where it's just fucking easy. You're just like, yo, do you like me? And they're like, yeah. And you're like, oh, cool, because I like you too. And they're like, okay, nice. Yeah, thank you. I'm glad you told me that. And you're like, cool. Like, do you want to kiss now? Do you want to make out? And they're like, yeah. And then you make out like fucking bandits. And then you touch each other's bits and then you go, oh, yeah. And you have sex. And it's good. And it's easy. And it's effortless. And effortless sex is so much more passionate too. Like people have this funny idea that playing games will somehow lead to better sex. And that if you're autistically honest, it will take the magic out of it. Like, but bro, if I just say, can I kiss you? And I'm super casual, won't that take the magic out? Would you rather be fucking around in your own head trying to figure out whether or not you're allowed to kiss someone? Or would you rather just be making out with someone passionately? Like, which one of those is fucking hotter to you? Stressing about whether or not you're allowed to have something or just fucking doing it and participating in it? I know which one's hotter and kinkier to me. Having sex is kinkier than stressing about whether or not you're going to have sex. Like, what the fuck? At some point somewhere, some people went massively down the wrong path there or confused as fuck, thinking that like games were somehow sexier than just fucking the shit out of each other. Sorry to be crass and blunt. I'm not sorry. Welcome to the channel. But yeah, I don't know where along the lines people were like, playing games is fun. It's like having my penis inside a very wet vagina with someone who's madly, passionately desperate for me to just pound the shit out of them. That is way hotter than any game could ever be. Also, you can just play games during sex. Like if you really like games and making people wait, do that during sex. Like get to the bedroom, this is part of BDSM and kink, tie them up, blindfold them, and then make them fucking wait. Be like, you don't get my dick right now. And then she'll go, please, please, sir, please. And you go, no, now I'm going to make you wait. And she's like, oh, no, don't make me wait. And then you tease her. Like, that's fun. She's having fun there. She's not going through psychological warfare trying to figure out if you actually like her. And you're not going through psychological hell. You can now both relax into the fact that you like each other and now play those games. Like, you know, Diane, you clearly like playing games. Like, let's be honest. You would be the first person to admit that. Diane, find a guy that wants to play the games in the bedroom, not outside of it. This is like the world's shittest foreplay. This is like foreplay where I don't even know if he wants to do foreplay with me. Get to the actual foreplay. We're in the bedroom. I'm like, Diane, wouldn't you rather be naked, tied up, blindfolded, your skin full of goosebumps, the soft music playing, and you can hear him undressing in the background, and you have no idea what's happening next. There's just that beautiful anticipation, and then he makes you wait. Wouldn't you fucking rather that than like looking at your phone for the 20th time going like, does he even want to do this with me? Like, that's not sexy. It's not sexy to look at your phone and be like, does he like me? And nothing against this guy. You know, it's literally nothing against this guy. But as AV said, there are guys out there that you won't be asking us these questions. You'll just be straight into the bedroom, building up that anticipation there. And I'm telling you, that's way sexier. Or you'll send him a nude photo, and then he'll say, he'll reply quickly enough, and he'll go, you have no idea what I'm going to do to you next time I see you. And you're going to say, no, tell me. And he's going to make you wait. In that moment, that is fun. He's going to say, no, you're going to have to use your imagination. And then you'll go away for the next 3 freaking days using your imagination like crazy. You'll barely be able to concentrate at work because you're just having this crazy, beautiful anticipation of like, God, he said I have to use my, well, God, what's he going to do to me? Oh my God. And then you'll text him and be like, are you going to blindfold me? And then he'll say, I told you, you're going to have to wait. And you go, oh my God, holy shit. Wait, is he going to tie me up? Wait, can I at least get a hint? And he'll go, no, you don't get a hint. And you'll go, please, please, please. Like, that's fun for both of you. It's a fun, beautiful, like, dance that you're playing with each other. That's so much more fun than like, yeah, exactly, Diane. Yes, Diane. Yes, yes, this. Exactly this. You'd rather be teased in the bedroom or like in a sexual, flirty, fun way over text message rather than just, does he even fucking like me? Or maybe he likes you, but he's just busy. Whatever. Like, we're sitting here trying to guess why he's not replying very quickly. There are people where you don't have to guess. They're like, hey, I like you. Diane, I like you. All right, I'll see you 3 days from now. And you're like, cool. And then you build the anticipation. As Avi says, yeah, exactly. Being more upfront sexually and giving lots of praise is taking things to the next level. Yeah, because then we can skip the part that we're all nervous about. Like, basically everyone is nervous about dating, about texting, about whether or not this person likes me, about doing a good job leading up to, you know, not just the bedroom, but like the intimacy and the connection and like that part where you can relax because you know you like each other. Like, you can relax so much with someone when you find out that you both like each other. And so why not just skip to that point? Like, why spend ages trying to figure out if they like you? Why not just be like, yo, I like you, by the way. Like, how do you feel about me? And then they'll tell you. Like, done. Yeah, as Obvious Throwaway said, I know, right? Hey, oh God, he left me on red for 3 days. I'm so turned on. No woman ever. Yeah, and at first it's fun and exciting. And even Diane, you're at this point. Like, at the start, it was fun for you. Like, you came to the first couple of live streams. This is like several weeks ago. And you're like, does he like me? Does he not? That was fun. You probably gather around with your female friends. I know because I've been in these groups with a bunch of women gathering around talking, and they'll ask me, I'll be there as well. Me and like, 5 women, and show me the phone, and they'll be like, what do you think he means by this? Do you think he likes me? Like, what do you think this is? And it's like, fucking hell, just ask him. Like, it's fun at the start, but then after enough weeks of it, you're like, okay, can I just have an answer now? There are so many men out there that think like being mysterious and like being like cold and hot and then cold and then hot makes you more attractive to women. And it does. It does. It really, really does. Temporarily. And then at some point, you're just fucking annoying. Like, at some point, you're just annoying. And like, think about this. Imagine you all had a business. I have a business, a coaching business. You get this with like guys applying to the coaching too. They'll like send you emails being like, hey, I want to sign up for coaching. And then you're like, great, good, cool. And then they'll go, but now's not the right time. And they'll just go back and forwards with this shit for so long, almost like making you guess. And then, sorry, I'm confused because Cam's asking me questions in a private chat. They'll make me guess, like, do I want coaching? Do I not? Do I want it? Do I not? And then at some point, I'm just like, okay, now I'm trying not to be annoyed by you, but now it's just like fucking annoying. Like, stop emailing. I have literally said, or Emmy has literally emailed lots of people saying, can you please stop emailing to tell us that you're going to do coaching one day? Like, we don't care what you're going to do. You're either today signing up and sending us some money and starting, or I don't care. Like, those are the only 2 options. Why would we care about what you say you're going to do in the future? That's the hypothetical. And most of the time, people who say, I'm going to do coaching, don't end up doing coaching. Spoiler alert. 99% of them who say, I will do it one day, they just don't. So I'm not interested in that. So you're either going to do it or you're not. If you're not, brilliant, beautiful. Just don't tell me. And we've blocked people's emails. There was one dude in particular that emailed us for like 1.5 years. And he would like, I don't know what the fuck he was doing, but it was like enough seriousness that you'd be like, okay, maybe now is the time when he's serious. And Emmy would write him a motivational email. I recorded him a voice message or 2 saying like, all right, man, like I promise, like you can do this, blah, blah, blah. All of that kind of stuff. Like, I'm ready to sign up. And then at some point, we're just like, all right, I'm going to block you. And we said that to him. We're like, dude, by blocking your email, you're just like, I don't even fucking know what's going on with you, man. But like, stop. So yeah, like it's fun at the start, but not after a while. Diane, as you're self-aware enough to say, at the start, you're like, why is he doing this? Like, I like him. Why is he doing this? And then at some point, It's annoying as shit, isn't it? At the start, it was hot, but then it's just like, all right, this is fucking annoying. And then Diane, as other people have pointed out, the answer isn't, okay, I'll annoy other people too. Like, I'm being annoyed, so let me go annoy someone else by playing the same games. No, the answer is like to rise above it and not worry about it. And nothing against him. Let's be fucking clear. Nothing against him. We don't know anything about him or why he's doing this or any of that. He might just be busy. He might not even know that you want him to reply quick. Like, who fucking knows? But yeah, great discussion. I love this stuff. Expert cheek clapper. You have a knack, my friend, of asking very interesting questions. You would actually be a really interesting like podcast host because you ask a good mix of like very deep, serious questions and then ridiculous scenario, silly questions, and then questions that are phrased in a really interesting way and make me think a lot. I think you could be a really interesting interviewer or podcast host. Andy, do you ever think about scenarios where you coach world dictators who rule with fear and anger? So no, I haven't thought about it, but I have. No, that's not true. So I have. So I read a lot about Hitler and like how he got to where he was. I've read a lot about like Jewish situation, all that kind of stuff. Like I've read a lot about like Chairman Mao, Pol Pot. Like I've read a lot about a lot of these people. I've read a lot about like narcissism, malignant messianic narcissist disorder, which is like you could probably diagnose Hitler and Pol Pot, all those people with that. Like you think you're God, you think you can rule the world, you think you can take everyone on, and you are narcissistic and obsessed with your own ego and your own wants, and you throw a tantrum when the world doesn't do what you want it to do. That's basically every dictator ever. So I've thought a lot about a lot of this stuff and like what I would say to them if they ask me for help, which they would never be the people to ask me for help, so I would never coach them. Like that's the very first answer. Simple answer. Why would I help a dictator? They don't want my help. If they ask for my help, then yeah. And I also sometimes play around with the idea, or a lot. I've done a lot of the idea of like Hitler was just doing his best, and can I have love for Hitler? And yeah, I have a lot of love for Hitler. I didn't for a long time. I have a lot of love for a lot of other people. My big one right now that I'm working on is Andrew Tate. I have often been very judgmental towards Andrew Tate, and that's something that I'm actively working on letting go of. In fact, this morning, I literally did a forgiveness meditation where I thought about him and how he's doing his best and he's trying to help people and what it might feel like to be him and what it might feel like to have seemingly the world hate you and all of that kind of stuff. And yeah, I did some forgiveness, and forgiveness is realizing there's nothing to forgive, but blah, 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 separate concept. So really cool question. And Phoenix, you go on to say, Andy turns Kim Jong-un's love life around. So one of my favorite people that I talk a lot about is Viktor Frankl, the guy who was in Auschwitz, the Nazi death camp, for 3 years. And part of the reason why he survived, and he literally credits this, he had several moments where he could have died. There were a couple of the like Nazis at the death camp that he gave counseling to, like therapy to, because he was a therapist. And one in particular was just like one of the Nazi guards was just complaining about his wife and arguing and all of that. And he was very courageous and walked over to the guy and was like, I can help you. And basically they pointed a gun at his head and were like, yo, I should fucking kill you kind of thing. And it's like, no, listen, I'll help you. And so he helped him, and helping, like literally helped him, talked him through his relationship, gave him some advice. And then the guy went home and it worked, months later it worked. And so that Nazi guard specifically worked really hard to keep Viktor Frankl alive because he's like, don't fuck with him. And he did this with a couple of people. And so, yeah, like if you spread love around, even to the people that are your enemies, sometimes that comes back around to you. So you just made me think of that. Very esoteric question here coming from expert cheek clapper, but you always ask very interesting questions. Would I help a world leader? Yeah, if they asked me for it. Or if I was in a Nazi death camp. So would I help my enemies? Yeah, of course. Like if they're suffering, yeah. Like what better way to get them on your side than to help them? But a lot of the time we're so focused on revenge, and it's like, well, that would just make an enemy of the person that's already declared themselves your enemy. I don't know how that ever goes well for you. It usually just devolves into more war. Who is he? Welcome. I believe was your username like Y, or maybe you're a different person? If this is the first time you're here, welcome, hello. How would you deal with worrying about STDs, and have you ever had one yourself? Yes, I have once. I've done so much content on STDs that I'm not going to answer this question. I will direct you to actually search on my Spotify for STD, or search on my blog for STD, or search on this YouTube channel for STD. I believe I have done multiple pieces of content on each of those platforms. So just go check that out. That will like give you your answer. Yes, I had an STD, chlamydia, cleaned up in like 2 weeks. You just don't have sex for 2 weeks. You take a pill, it's fine. Like STDs are massively, 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 massively stressed about. Like massively stressed about. But if you actually talk to someone who knows what they're talking about, like I go and get an STD checkup once a year. And before we have a new partner, if we're going to not wear condoms anymore, we will all go through STD checks and make sure that each other are not sleeping with other people without condoms and all of that stuff. Like, but each time I go and get an STD check, I will speak to the nurses, and it's usually just nurses at the clinic, and ask them, like, how's things going? Are you seeing many STDs in the community right now? I just talk to them. Like every single time, not every time, but multiple times, I have been directly said, why are you here getting a checkup? And I'm like, I just get a checkup every year. And they're like, why? Do you have any symptoms? No, none. And they're like, why are you stressing about STDs then? Like, why are you getting a checkup if you don't have any symptoms? Like, most people freak out about STDs, especially in America. In America, sex is this very strange taboo topic with a lot of puritanicism. I don't know. People are very scared of STDs and sex in general, but at the same time deeply fucking obsessed with it. It might just be because America is very conservative and like religious and pious and scared of sex in many ways, like with a lot of Christianity and all of that. But then at the same time, America is also very liberal. So there's lots of people that are gay and trans and sex positive and all of that. And the two worlds kind of smash each other sometimes. So America as a whole, and I'm making a big generalization here, is equal parts terrified of sex and STDs and equal parts obsessed with sex and hedonism and all of that. And none of that is like a judgment. Like it is what it is. But yeah, STDs, I wouldn't stress about too much. Just do the bare minimum. Do your precautions, but go watch some of those videos or podcasts or articles. Just search my channel for, search my blog. Go to killyourinnerloser.com, just search for STD. Yeah, expert sheet clapper for sure. Yeah. The Nazi camp guards, and really just anyone who's subscribed to Nazism. Getting into the psychology of that, you realize how human they all were and how susceptible humanity is to propaganda and lies and falsehood. The human mind, unaided, is unable to tell truth from falsehood most of the time. Like, we're just not good at that, myself included. Like, we're not. And all we're trying to do is learn how to tell truth from falsehood. And so with propaganda, it's very easy to sell falsehood as truth. We saw a lot of that during 2020, like all the lockdowns. There was a lot of falsehood being pushed as truth. So, yeah. Brandon, Andy, how would you say your fashion style has evolved over the years? I don't have an exciting answer to this. I just wear whatever I feel like. I love that you're asking me a fashion question when I'm wearing what I'm currently wearing. At the start, I dressed like a Korean K-pop star. I literally wore Korean clothes and Asian and Chinese clothes. I would literally order them from like Alibaba and AliExpress and eBay and Amazon and stuff. Then for a while, I wore a lot of like fitted shirts, like dress shirts. And then for a while, I wore kind of what I'm wearing right now, which is just I wear a singlet, like a white singlet, and then a shirt over the top of it, and then like boat shorts and some decent sneakers or something. I'm not someone that cares much about fashion, honestly. Like, this might be a better question for someone like Cam. Like, I just really don't care about fashion. As long as I put some effort in, that's all I care about. Like, did I look like I tried at all? Good. That's all I care about. Yeah, as Flyaway123 says, and hello, by the way. Yeah, ask Cam any fashion questions. Like, I just don't think about fashion, honestly. I think about, did I put some effort in? That's all I care about. So I'm putting love into my appearance, and that's all I care about. I groom I wear clothes that I think fit me well and that I like and I feel comfortable in. I get compliments on my, usually I get compliments on my necklaces and my rings and my watches. Like that's the stuff people seem to notice. But yeah, I'm just thinking like, can I put like effort in? I don't care about the actual stuff itself. Phoenix, we missed this absolute zinger, my brother. Little Phoenix is like a sledgehammer to everybody. In case you didn't get it, he's referring to his pee-pee. He's talking about his penis, his doodle. He's talking about his willy. He's talking about his pee-pee. It's his sledgehammer. I bet you say that to all the boys, Phoenix. You want to come see my sledgehammer? Brandon, I don't think we read this out, but this was a beautiful reply, bro. I loved this, man. You were talking to Diane, and really, it's not even for Diane. Like, how many guys listening are like, yeah, I make girls wait because then they think I'm cooler. So, Brandon, you said you didn't feel good waiting for 2 days for his reply. So how do you think he would feel? Probably not good either. An eye for an eye and the world goes blind. Thank you for saying that. Brandon, if I remember from coaching you, you're pretty religious. I can't remember if you were Christian. Was that right, Brandon? Like, I think you're Christian. Anyway, that quote is from Jesus, I believe. Another quote that I love from Jesus is, why are you pointing out the splinter in your brother's eye when there is a plank in your eye? Like, fix your own shit, basically. And yes, an eye for an eye does make the whole world go blind, for sure. Like, Jesus and the Bible, Christian Bible, had a lot of shit about like letting go of your grievances and not holding on to them. Buddhism has a lot about like anger and grievances and revenge. And again, that quote that I kind of butchered before, seeking revenge is like holding on to hot coals with the intent to throw them at someone else. You are the one that gets burned. And so when we start playing around with like, I'm going to do what they did to me, it's like now we're both just like, it's a race to the bottom. Like, let me fuck you over because you fucked me over. And then you'll fuck them over or you'll make them wait. And then they'll go, well, I'm going to make her wait or him wait. I'm going to screw them over. And then you're just like both punching each other. Like, I've done lots of content about this. So what would be the most relevant? Search on my channel. If any of you search on my channel for you and me, and I did an article or a video, sorry, about like it's you and me on the same team. Actually, that's hard to find. YouTube search has just absolutely gone downhill. Like when I search for even on my own channel for my own videos, they don't show up. Even if I type in the perfect title, sometimes they just don't show up. Try typing in Andy Wells boxing. Yeah, here you go. This one's decent too. I'll show it on the screen. This one up here. You're treating dating like a boxing match. Do this instead. Yeah, that's like an eye for an eye and the whole world goes blind. If you're like, but he made me wait, so I should make him wait. It's like, you're just getting into a boxing match. You're going to punch him. He's going to punch you. You're going to punch him. You're going to punch. And then you're just now both bruised. Like, why wouldn't you go find the person that wants to treat dating as a cuddle match or a sex match or like whatever it is that you want? I'd rather find the person that's like, dating is nice. Are you having a fun time of dating? Yeah, I like it. You're nice and I'm nice. Cool, great. Like, that's it. That's the extent. Like, we both have a good time. Yeah, expert cheek clapper. What you've said here is something that I've talked about a lot. So you say, I have worries about not being manly enough, but there's an African tribe that believes you're only a man when you fight and kill a lion. Yeah, there's a couple. I watched, was it I can't remember what channel it was, maybe Discover Connection, where they went to some African tribe and they literally said like, the leader here killed like 2 lions and that's why he's the leader. And I was like, oh shit, damn. So you say here, like, they believe that you're only a man when you fight a lion and obviously when you win against that lion. But by that definition, none of us are real men. Yeah, so I've done a video about this. I've done a lot of videos about this, actually, masculinity and how it's arbitrary. It is literally an arbitrary definition. So just search my channel for like masculine or manly. This one here about like being an alpha male. This one here about how to become an alpha male. This one here, how to be more masculine. Like those 3 videos especially. I talk a lot about this concept that the idea of masculinity or being a man, and the same thing with femininity and being a woman, it's arbitrarily defined and it will depend on that culture or who's saying it or what agenda they have for you. Like lots of the time when people say you have to do this to be a real man, it's because they just want you to do what they want, and they know that that's a very easy go-to manipulation tool. Like if I just tell you you're not being man enough, now you have to do what I want. Imagine if I'm a dating coach. Well, I am a dating coach, but like if I'm a dating coach and I just tell you all, when you don't do what I want, what my ego wants you to do, what I think you should do, if you don't do what I want, I just call you not a man. I just call you a pussy. Like that's such a fucking easy, that's like that's like primary school, like kindergarten fucking level of manipulation tactic. But it works, doesn't it? Holy shit, it works. And it works on women too. Like if some woman just does something you don't want, you just call her a slut. And then she has to do what you want. Like it's so fucking funny how our brains work. Like there's just trigger words that are like hypnosis. If I can just call you a pussy or tell you that you're not a man or that you're being a beta male, I just snap you into fucking hypnosis, and now you have to do what I want. Or I just tell you that I'm disappointed in you. Like, and now you have to do what I want to get my validation and my attention and my affection. Like, it's so easy. Like, it's so fucking easy to manipulate ourselves and other people, which is why I'm cautious with the language that I use with all of you. And if I'm ever going to do something to motivate you or to try and like change your thinking, I will tell you what I'm doing. Like, I use psychology techniques. I just tell you what the psychology technique is as we're doing it, and I walk you through it. And then I say, now you can use that psychology technique with yourself to help build a better life. And I'm trying to give you the tools responsibly rather than using them on you without telling you. So, yeah, but it's funny how our brain just like fucking gets triggered and we can just manipulate ourselves and other people so easily. Like, you don't have to be a genius to be some like Machiavellian. Like, it's so fucking easy. Unbelievably easy. Like I said it before, the human mind is not very good at telling truth from falsehood. The human mind is not very good at knowing when it's being manipulated. Like it's just not. Like look how many people go to fucking war like for Hitler and shit. They're just like, yeah, Hitler's correct. Like God does want us to kill everyone else on the fucking planet who opposes us. Like it's the wildest shit you can say. And if you say the right words, the brain will just fall into a state of hypnosis. But yeah, we're all doing our best. We're not trying to get fucking manipulated. We're doing our best. All right, you're talking about fashion. Brandon, you said you grew up Christian, but nowadays not really. Yeah, no, that's right. You and I talked about this actually in coaching. I hope you don't mind me talking. I'm not going to say anything private from coaching, but yeah, I remember you saying this, that you grew up Christian, moved away from some of the shame and the guilt and the sin and the obsession with all of that shit and moved more towards like, God seems fucking chill. God loves me. Yeah. I don't use the word God a lot. I think you and I had this discussion too in the coaching. I don't use the word God a lot. I use it when it will resonate with the person I'm talking to. For me, I just use the word life or the universe or existence or like everything, whatever word I want to use. But I'm describing the same concept as you. It's the same thing. We're just both talking about like everything. And so, yeah, I obviously have the same philosophy as you. I believe the world is kind. I believe the universe is kind. Everyone's just doing their best. Life seems like it's your place. Life is a gift. Life is whatever you call it, and I choose to call it a gift. If I was to use the word God, I would say God loves me. God loves all of us. I choose to say that statement because it makes my life better. And then if I go around saying God is a sadist and God is evil and God fucked me over and God should give me what I want, yeah, life doesn't feel very good and I don't get what I want. Diane, you absolute legend of a human being. You absolute lion-hearted woman. You say, all right, guys, thank you. I wrote him back now. I don't care when he writes back. Yeah, no, here's something that really helps. Like, Diane, I've recommended this book to you a lot, and I know you said you're going to read it at some point. I Need Your Love. Is That True? That book. Like, when you're sitting, in the moments when we're sitting there waiting for someone else to reply to us, imagine if we just reply to ourselves, and you might be like, what the fuck does that mean? Well, you're sitting there saying, I wish this person would validate me. I wish this person would make me feel like I'm good enough. Why don't you fucking do that? And so how you do that is you get out a piece of paper and write 50 reasons I'm good enough. And you spend the next, 6 months getting to 50 things. 50 reasons why I'm lovable as I am. And I don't need some dude to confirm that. Like, why is someone else's opinion about you more correct than your own? Why is your opinion about yourself wrong or like unimportant, but some random person we care what their opinion, and this is like everyone seems to care about other people's opinions until we learn to let go of that. Like, and that's a process. I'm still working on that. But we care about other people. Like, their opinion is more correct. We've literally made them God and given them power over us. And they don't even know they have that power over us most of the time. We just silently handed them the power and we said, God, I hope this person approves of me, and then I can feel like I'm enough. I hope this person likes me, and then I'll be likable. I hope this person loves me, and then I can declare myself lovable. It's like, why the hell did you just silently, secretly hand all your power over to that other person who a lot of the time doesn't even know that you did that? They don't know. For most people, if they knew how much power we handed them, they would hand it back and be like, oh, I don't want that responsibility. Why the fuck like, they would probably call that neediness. They'd be like, I'm solely responsible for how you feel about yourself, or I'm partly responsible for how you feel about yourself. I don't want that responsibility. No, that's how most people would react. So we do it silently. We sit there in silence, hoping they'll reply back to us. We sit there on the date, hoping that she'll want to kiss us, or hoping that he'll make a move on us, or hoping that he'll compliment our hair, or how much time we put in our makeup, or the clothes that we're wearing, or whatever. We sit there in silence, having already handed the power to the other person, going, I hope they don't hurt me. And then if they do something we didn't want them to do or didn't expect them to do, then we're hurt. And they don't even know any of this is going on most of the time. It's like a silent battleground that happens in our head. So yeah, when we can be there for ourselves and say, why do I need some other person's opinion to make me feel good? Why don't I just fucking give myself that opinion? Why does it have to come from the external? Why do I need someone else out there to tell me that I'm okay? Why can't it come from in here? Why is it any different? Why do you not count as a person? Like, all of you listening, why do you not count as a person? You're wanting some other person's validation. They are a person. You are also a person, but why does yours not count? Why is yours different? Are you not a person? That's how most of us think about ourselves. We're like, no, I'm not as good as other people. Patently, literally false, because there are other people out there seeking your fucking validation and doing the same thing from you that you are doing from them, wanting you to approve of them. So they literally think that you are more than them. They think that you are a person that they want validation from. So you clearly count as a person whose validation matters, or is, people think it matters. And so if you want validation, there is someone that is with you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and will never leave you. And that is you. And that's why we say start building that relationship with yourself. Or if you're wanting something from other people, there's someone right there with you 24/7 who can give it to you at a moment's notice. It doesn't take much. Go look in the mirror and be like, I love you, and see how that feels. Write it on a piece of paper. Here's a bunch of reasons why I'm lovable, why I'm doing a good job, why I'm okay. Do a little bit of like me time. Do something fucking nice for yourself. Go enjoy your time. Just go sit on the couch and think about how you're grateful for stuff. Like, whatever it might be, there are a million different ways to give yourself validation. I mean, hell, you can even just ask for it. Go up to a bunch of people and be like, hey, I'm struggling with validation. Can you say one nice thing about me? You can go up to literal strangers on the street and say that. Hey, sorry to bother you. I'm struggling with my own self-esteem. Would you mind just taking 10 seconds, 5 seconds, and just saying like one nice thing about me, just like one compliment? It would really help me. The vast majority of human beings that you say this to will give you a compliment. Of course they will. Some of them will even say, would you like a hug? And they'll give you a hug. And you go, holy shit, I wasn't expecting this. Yeah, because people are really good at being kind to other people, but maybe we're not as practiced with being kind to ourselves. So if you want validation, go fucking ask for it. And all of this is me just pushing all of you towards honesty. Like, so many of you guys and girls want shit, but then you're like, I can never ask for it. And it's like, well, good luck getting it then. I can never ask for it, and I can never give it to myself. Yeah, good luck then. Maybe you get it randomly, accidentally, and we do sometimes. But fuck, man, you could just have it immediately if you just walked up to strangers and be like, can I have validation? At least that would be honest. At least you'd have integrity. Or just look in the mirror and be like, hi, me, I want validation right now. And then you will give it to yourself, because you're not going to stand there in front of the mirror being like, no, I'm not giving it to you. You'll say something nice about yourself. So, yeah. I love these conversations, by the way, in case you can't tell. And Obvious Story Away is talking about the Messiah. Correct. Yes, that was the video I watched. Damn, dude. Now I want to watch that video again. Messiah, maybe it was Discover Connection. Yeah. They literally talked about that. Was it the Discover Connection or Yes Theory? No, it was the American guy. You guys might know this dude. He's an American guy and he travels around the world and he speaks Chinese. And so he goes to places and he's like, white guy surprises Chinese residents by speaking like Mandarin or Cantonese or fucking, I can't say the other one, like fun how, whatever it is. He speaks all these different like languages and he learns like everybody's language. He went to an African tribal village and he spoke their language. So this guy, his name's like Xiaomi. I forget his real name. But yeah, he went there and they had like some warrior who had like, yeah. This is a good video, by the way. Like really good video. Just search for like I surprised African warriors. I really like this guy a lot. He's like very good at building connections with people. Obviously, he's like a polyglot. He speaks lots of languages and that helps, but he's just a very nice guy on top of that in general. So I remember that video. Thank you for reminding me of that obvious throwaway. I enjoy that video a lot. Yeah, Phoenix. I know. Hey, my friend Tim, who's staying with me for a couple of weeks or for a week, he and I were talking about this yesterday. We were like, there's a big definition of masculinity. And again, people will use the word masculinity to guilt trip you and shame you into doing what they want you to do or making you who they want you to be. And so, yes, there's a very big push of like Sigma male grind set. You got to suffer. And if you like grinding, I literally had this conversation with Ed, one of my coaches in the coaching group today, where he said he wants to go all in with finding a wife and building a beautiful family. And he wants to just spend like a ton of money on it this year on coaching and like other coaches and building and just, he's doing everything he can. He's like hiring fucking matchmakers and shit like that to just, all right, I'm going to find a wife. And he's grinding. Like you would call that a grind set, but he wants to. And it brings him joy. And it's the thing that would bring him the most happiness and peace right now. And so you can grind, like you can be on that grind set, but enjoy it. A lot of people like find meaning or find, it's almost like a self-flagellation. It's almost like they're jerking themselves off, like a form of masochism, like literally like a fetish of masochism, like straight up BDSM. We had a guy in my coaching group that we had this joke with last week where he was so obsessed with making himself unhappy when it came to dating, and he wouldn't allow himself to just celebrate any victories. He would immediately dismiss any victories and be like, no, I got to get back to work and get back to the grind. He would have sex with women and have these beautiful experiences with them, like really, really, really beautiful moments of vulnerability and crazy sex and all that shit. And then he'd be like, all right, I need to get back to it. And it'd be like, bro, can you not just chill and cuddle with her for a while? Like, why do you have to be unhappy? Like, he's unhappy in his grinding. And I literally said to him, dude, are you literally like fucking jerking yourself off with how much you suffer? Like, are you straight up just, do you have a fucking boner every time you're angry or frustrated or you cry or you're just like have a breakdown? Like, are you straight up masturbating your cock? Like, are you enjoying this? And he laughed and he was like, I think I am. I'm scared to admit this to all of you, but I think, yeah, I think I am literally not quite getting off, but like I am genuinely enjoying suffering. And I was like, this is BDSM. This is like masochism, sadomasochism. The difference is in BDSM, the point is for you to have fun with the pain and the, teasing and all of that, the restraints. That's meant to be fun. And at any point in BDSM, there is a safe word and you say, hey, can we slow down? Can we stop? Hey, safe word. Hey, that's enough for today. Hey, that was amazing. Can we cuddle afterwards? There's a cuddle afterwards. Aftercare. You make sure the person really enjoyed that and is enjoying it during the whole process. And afterwards, you cuddle with them and make them feel special and make sure they don't feel weird about it. Whereas what he's doing and what a lot of people do, especially in like the manosphere, is it's like BDSM without the aftercare. BDSM without like checking in and making sure the person's actually having fun. It's BDSM, but abusive BDSM. You are like literally trying to hurt the other person. It's like if you went into the bedroom and you were going to do BDSM and you said, my mission is to make this person feel as shit as they can about themselves. And afterwards, I want their self-esteem to go down. And any victories that they had, I want them to feel like it wasn't good enough and it doesn't count. Like that's what a lot of people do in self-improvement. And like, damn, I did that for a while too, until one of my coaches, Keith, said, you don't have to suffer to reach your goals. In fact, it's harder to reach your goals when you're hating every second of the process. But yeah, there definitely is a fetish. I think Phoenix, we can probably just call it a fetish. I think that's quite an accurate description of how a lot of people view suffering in order to reach their goals. Like, I think it is straight up a fetish. Like, I literally think they enjoy it. Like, because I used to. That's where I was at. Diane, you said, I began listening to the audiobook as in I Need Your Love. Is that true? That's amazing. It was such a beautiful book. It's probably the book that's helped me the most with my relationship with Imi and with Bronwyn and just like people in general. So yeah, brilliant. AV says, in my opinion, God is a legend who enjoys watching us figure life out. Yeah, I've played around with this a lot, like the non-interventional idea of a deity. Like, most people have that mindset, or a lot of people have that mindset with if there was a God, he or she or it or that or whatever doesn't seem to be like coming down here and being like, hi everyone, I'm God. Hey, you need to do this. Hey, this will make you happy. Like, it seems like we have if there was a God, we at least don't have any proof of like God like being right there and being like, hi, I'm God. Like, right, that's a fair statement. That's a fair statement. I've thought a lot about that, and I'm not going to sit here and say whether there is a God or what this is, or is this a simulation. How the hell could I have those answers? But if I was a God, if I knew everything or most things or whatever, if I was watching people, if I tried to intervene, I think that I would make a lot of people unhappy. I would take away some of the magic of life. We've said this before. If you play a video game and enter all the cheat codes, it's not fun. If you're watching a movie and someone spoils the ending before you even watch it, it's no longer enjoyable. If I'm playing a puzzle game and someone tells me all the answers, it's not fun. If I'm doing a jigsaw puzzle and every time I go to fucking put a piece there, or even a couple of times, if I just pick up a piece, and even if I'm struggling, if I go to put it in there and someone goes, oh, that piece goes there, I put it there, and then I'm like, yeah, but that wasn't as fun as if I had that moment where it clicked for me and I figured out where it goes. And so if there was a God, the kindest thing that God could do is not to intervene. Even when we're fucking struggling and suffering, the kindest thing that a God could do would be to give us the tools to be able to figure things out, give us the tools to be able to choose our own way, like free will, give us the tools to be able to reframe things and turn suffering into something meaningful or suffering into a good thing. And we have all been given those tools. We don't know that. Like, not everyone knows those tools exist. And the absolute kindest thing that a God could do is give you the answers inside you. Like, every single person is capable of unbelievable love and peace. The answer is in you. And there are many pathways to get there. There is the pathway of negation. You can look that up. There is the middle way in Buddhism. There is asceticism. There is giving to others and practicing love. There is just noticing things and being present. Like, there's a million different pathways to like figure out the answers of life and find some peace and unconditional love. And what a kind gift that is, that it's right in you. At some point you realize it's not in the external things that I'll find happiness. Those things are beautiful. I can appreciate them, have gratitude for them. Brilliant. But it is in my relationship with myself and my view of the world that I find happiness. And that's in you. That's up here in this mind or this heart. And so the fact that we've been given these tools, we don't all know that. A lot of you don't know that. And it took me 36 years to figure that out. But the fact that we've been given these tools and that there's even an opportunity for self-improvement, damn, boy, that's all I want. Like, if I play a video game, I just want to know that I can improve at the video game, that I'll learn some cool stuff, that I'll have some cool adventures, and that the ending won't be spoiled for me, and I can figure stuff out myself and get better and improve. That's life. Life is a playground. Like, life is literally a playground. And a lot of people are in a lot of pain because they view life as hell. They view it as a chore. Would a video game be fun if you said this is a chore? Oh, I have to like pass this video game and I have to get better and upgrade and evolve and learn and grow. Oh, it's so annoying. I hate this. It's suffering. You wouldn't enjoy it. But you go into a video game with the expectation that it's going to be fun. Imagine if everybody showed up to life every day with the expectation that it's fun or that it's going to be fun. Like, damn, boy, what a life-changing thing that would be. By the way, if everything I just said is interesting to anyone, I highly recommend a beautiful game, since we're talking about games, called The Talos Principle. And there's a Talos Principle 2, which is equally as good. But the first one, the Talos Principle, talks about this. Literally, there are people that in the game view the world as suffering and a chore. And I'm sure you can imagine how that goes. And there are people in the game that view the world and their existence as a gift and an opportunity and a playground. And I'm sure you can imagine how those people go. So really highly recommended game. It's just called the Talos Principle. And the Talos Principle 2 is just as good. And the DLC, both games have DLC. And the DLC is its own game. It's like an expansion pack. Both of the DLCs are essentially their own beautiful game as well. So highly recommend all of that. Very highly well reviewed. 95% overwhelmingly positive. 27,000 reviews. And the second game, I think, is slightly even better reviewed. But that talks about this concept. So yeah, AV, what a beautiful way to go through life. Imagine how your life is if you view life or God or whatever as cool as fuck. Wouldn't that be nice? Imagine if you can then extend that to your fellow human beings. You already do, I know this, but like other people. Imagine if we can all extend to other people the same courtesy and go, this person's cool as fuck. Right now, I'm telling a story that they're annoying to me or that they're a piece of shit or they're bad or whatever. But what if I view them as cool as fuck? Like imagine what the world would be if you walked around viewing everyone as more enlightened than you. That's an exercise from one of my favorite books. You Can't Afford the Luxury of a Negative Thought. It goes, every time you're pissed off at someone or viewing them as bad or arguing with them or you hate them or you think they're an idiot, imagine if in your mind you said, what if that person's more enlightened than me and I'm the dumbass? Because sometimes you will be. Like, I can't tell you how many times I was like, this person's wrong and they're stupid and they shouldn't have done that. And then it turns out they're far more intelligent than me and they had a reason for doing what they were doing. And I'm actually the naive one who didn't understand. And then I go, holy shit, that was kind of dumb of me. That's happened so many thousands of times in my life that I just assume everybody knows what they're doing and they're all enlightened. And I'm not perfect with that. I've told you all a million times that I have judgments too, but it's something we're all working on. Absolutely. Diane, okay, beautiful thing to point out here. You say, you're a gem. Thank you so much. All of your words are absolutely describing all that is happening in my psyche. Because Diane and everyone else, there are no new thoughts. That is a Byron Katie quote. Whatever is happening in your head probably has happened in my head and probably has happened in everyone else's head. And so, yeah, you don't have to make assumptions, but I guess it is an assumption. I can assume that anything I might be struggling with, you're probably struggling with, or anything I've struggled with in the past, you probably struggle with at some point. And when you can show up to dates like that as well, man, stuff is so much easier. If you're like, well, I'm nervous right now, he or she probably is too. And then you can just say that, hey, I'm nervous right now. How do you feel? And they'll be like, oh, I'm nervous too. And then you're like, I knew it wasn't just me. So a lot of the time, yeah, the other person is thinking or feeling exactly what we are. Life of Brandon, you say, yes, I know him and I saw that video. You're talking about Xiaomi, the American dude who speaks Chinese, and I like him. Rishav, I love the male grand set memes. They're funny and dark. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the parody ones are really good. But a lot of people obviously go down that route and go, okay, so therefore I'm going to take this seriously and I really need to like grind and like be serious about it and do what you want. I'm not going to tell any of you what to do. But as expert cheek clapper says, yeah, when I was watching red pill YouTubers, they look so fucking miserable. Yeah, because part of your identity can become that. And not every red pill. There's happy ones out there, of course. I went through the red pill for a long time, but I was very unhappy. No, that's not a true statement. I wasn't as happy back then as I am now. So I'd phrase it more like that. But yes, I understand. Phoenix, there's memes about Sigma male grand set. Okay, Rishav and I will tell you, wait till you go down the rabbit hole, especially the parody ones. They're hilarious. They're hilarious. Like they're because they're parodying what it would be like to be like the extreme grind set suffering where like you cannot let anyone in, you can never connect to another human being, you can never let them see your weakness. Like, dude, so I literally want to look some up. We won't watch them here on the stream because we'll finish up, I don't know, in the next 20 minutes or so. But I'm going to watch some after the stream. Rishav, like, thank you for the recommendation. But yes, Phoenix, they are hilarious. Just look up Sigma male grind set. Maybe type in parody, but I don't think you even need to type in parody because most of them are. But yes, they're literally hilarious. It'll have like an alpha male looking guy and it will play this music. They have this particular track or this music that they play for all the Sigma male grind set music. It's just like a normal song, but massively slowed down. It's hilarious. And there'll be like some Sigma male, alpha male guy, and his mother will come up and be like, hi, honey, I love you so much. And then, turns away from mother, completely ignores like woman so that she can see he's a Sigma male, like spits on the floor, gives middle finger to his mother, walks off in the distance. 6 women come over to him and say like, hi, can I go out with you? He knows that going out with women is distracting from the mission of being a Sigma male. So he pushes them away. Yeah, it's actually hilarious. I tell you what also is hilarious. I did a parody of Sigma males and alpha males. I wrote this on my blog, and I was also parodying like lockdowns and COVID and all of that kind of stuff. I did them at the same time. But this was, maybe we can read this out a little bit. I'll read bits and pieces out, and then you guys can see if you want to go and watch the full article. But yeah, I literally parodied this stuff years and years and years ago in this article right here. And look at this artwork that I drew as well. This is so fabulous. Kino and escalation during the corona crisis. How to be an alpha male. And you can see there, look at this. Wow. This is like the best article you're ever going to read. Everything you're going to listen to here, I won't read the full thing out, but this is all a parody. And I literally pretended I was like the alpha male grind set, the Sigma male grind set, and like that extreme red pill sort of taken to the extreme idea that like you should only exist for yourself and women are all bitches and fuck women and push them aside and all of that kind of stuff. And like, yeah, so I start out, what up, my fellow alpha males? I know we're all in crisis mode, wondering how on earth we're supposed to get pussy in the middle of all these social distancing laws. Luckily, I've got you covered. First of all, make sure you're not breaking any local laws. In some countries, you're not allowed to leave the house right now without asking daddy government for permission. And in those countries, you sure as shit cannot be seen walking outside with girls. If you're unlucky enough to be from one of these totalitarian states where your freedoms don't matter, I'm really sorry. You're just going to have to sit tight and wait for this to all blow over. In the meantime, keep yourself entertained by checking out this airplane porn, not safe for work. We are not clicking on that. It is literally aeroplanes with boobs and penises and vaginas having sex with each other. In other countries like mine, you can go for a walk with a girl as long as you say you're going to the grocery store or exercising. Again, don't break any local laws. I'm not encouraging it. Use your own judgment. And for most other people, you're allowed to go outside with girls. You just have to maintain social distancing, usually 1.5 meters apart. That's where this guide comes in. Yeah, I know, Dr. Chad. So far, you said this is just normal Andy. I know. Wait for it, brother. Here, look at this picture. Beautiful alpha male over here on the left. Beautiful beta woman. I don't know what you'd call a woman. Sigma woman, beta woman, alpha woman. 1.5 meters, beautiful. Obviously, Kino and escalation are two things I cover in great depth in almost every article I write on this website. A true alpha male should be Kinoing every girl he meets all the time, even in his sleep. If you don't Kino and escalate, then girls will think you're a beta, which is gay as fuck. Am I right? You don't want girls to think you're sucking on sausages, do you? You a little beta gay boy? No, of course you're not. You're an alpha male. Trademark. And as an alpha male, you understand that touching a girl as often as you can during a date is literally the only way that you can get into her moist crab cake. There is no way you're sliding between those sweet peachy cheeks without having first touched her all over her delicious, delectable body while out in public. And no, you cannot do it when you're back at your apartment. That is beta. Remember, no Kino equals beta. Lots of Kino equals alpha. But with all these social distancing measures and having to keep at least 1.5 meters distance from her at all times, how is an alpha male supposed to escalate? Now I know what you're thinking. A true alpaca male will ignore all laws and do what he wants. Obeying the law is beta. But let me remind you that if you don't obey social distancing measures and you Kino girls during Corona, they will think that you're so desperate and beta to touch them that you would literally break the law for it. And what does that tell them? It tells them that you are needy as hell, which is about the most beta cuck shit I have ever heard. So hands-on Kino in the age of social distancing is clearly way too needy and insecure and just plain homoerotic. So what's an alpha to do if he wants to get laid? Well, chaps, that's where solution number 1 comes in. Solution number 1, role play Kino. I can't believe it took me until we have a fucking pandemic before I was able to think of something so genuinely mind-blowingly genius. If we can't keynote right now because it's needy and beta, then all you have to do is role play touching her. Just walk with her like you normally would on a date, maintaining that perfect 1.5 meter distance between both of you. No more, no less. Remember, less than 1.5 meters equals clearly very needy and cuck-like. More than 1.5 meters makes it look like you're really scared of her, and she'll instantly know that you're not a true alpha, and that's Greek for alpha. Greeks were super alpha, except when they ate too much feta cheese, because feta is beta, because they both share the same last three letters. And they do. Look, feta, beta, basically the same concept. So maintain your 1.5 meters distance and then tell her to pretend that you are currently keynoting her. I know. Fucking genius. I know. Start out slow, like you would with real life keynote. Say out loud to her as you walk, imagine my hand is touching yours right now. And I have put this font in red to show you how you should be saying it. You should be speaking with the color red, like an angry, uncalm alpha male. If you can't quite manage red because you're still a newbie, just talk in pink for now, but aim to upgrade to red ASAP. She will likely giggle and start to secrete vaginal fluid immediately. You're doing good. Walk for a bit longer and then say out loud to her, still maintaining that 1.5 meters distance, no more, no less. Now, sweet cheeks, I want you to imagine my fingertips stroking your arms very confidently, like an alpha male, like no alpha male you've ever met before. Now she will likely be dripping wet, absolutely soaked, because she knows what's coming. But remember not to move too quickly here, or she'll think that you're a beta. Push-pull is important here. You can hit her with a fucking neg right now. Oh, and by the way, I just realized you remind me of my little sister, who's a stupid bitch, lol. Anyway, and I wrote this neg in orange, not red, for a reason. You always need to tone your negs down. Never say your negs in red. They should always be calmer, more like an orange, and the color, not the fruit. Wow. If there was any doubt as to your alpha male status, trademark, that doubt has been completely nuked. She knows you're an alpha warlord now. Alpha's neg, and you just hit her with the biggest neg she has likely ever received, other than that time a guy called her fat. Calling a girl fat is known as a nuclear neg, and newbies should never attempt them because they can backfire if she replies with no you. And you can see here on the right, there's an image. The no you card deflects all roasts against you back to your opponent. And it says underneath that, the caption, if a girl hits you with this neg after you neg her, it's game over. You must kill yourself. So be very careful. If a woman hits you with no you, it's game over. Time to die. After you neg, or after your neg about your sister, she'll likely look a little hurt and might even cry at this point. Do not wipe away her tears or apologize. Empathy is beta as fuck, and I will immediately site ban your IP address from my website. Do you understand? Good. Now we go for the kill, like an alpha male lion. You see an alpha male lion here. The alpha lion doesn't fuck around, and neither do you. Out loud again, this time almost a roar, like a lion. You say, imagine my hand is on your thigh right now. You hesitate, but not wanting to seem rude, you don't push it away. There's a part of you that feels very turned on by an alpha male touching you in this way, knowing he's confident and badass enough to take what he wants. You are but a helpless little mouse, unable to fully grasp the immense power that I wield. If she slips and falls on her own pussy juice, don't help her back up. You can't. 1.5 meters, remember? And also, helping girls is beta, dumbass. Keep pushing forward, and this is known as escalation. Still red, maybe even more red now, and I will put it in bold so that you understand that that just means more red when you speak this out loud. Now imagine my hand reaches around and squeezes your bum cheeks. You're panting, loving it, trying to maintain composure, but you simply can't, because I've keynoted so hard that you can't even remember your own name. I've won. You are mine now, princess. And my sweet man, my beautiful alpha male, and it's not beta to call an alpha male beautiful. You need to show respect to a fellow gorgeous alpha. You have won. She is yours. At this point, you deserve to be arrested for stealing her heart. Now, if it's legal in your country, invite her back to your place. When you're sitting on your couch, make a move and kiss close her, otherwise known as a K close, and then number close her, otherwise known as an N close. Do not fail at this because failure is beta. And note, after you have made out with her and you've gotten her number, do not under any circumstances try to have sex with her. That would be really needy and beta as fuck. She will literally think you have no other options. I have made it very clear on my website that abundance mentality, trademark, is far more important than literally anything else, even getting laid. You need to show her that you have ultimate abundance by getting her number and then kicking her out. Bonus points if you're alpha enough to say, you gotta go because I'm about to smash 5 other girls in the next 3 hours, lol, but I'll see if I have time to pencil you into my schedule in the next few months. And say this one in a teal or a blue, not red, which would be very beta, almost like a cuck at this stage. At this point, she might actually try to seduce you. She'll be so horny from your abundance, but again, do not fuck her. Even if she strips naked and begs you to fuck her, this is a shit test. She is literally testing your alpha boundaries. Do not cave or you will never fuck her. Remember, sticking your dick in a pussy shows extreme neediness. Do you really want girls to think that you're so desperate that you're actually willing to fuck some stupid bitch? Fuck no. Abundance matters over all else. All right, that was solution number 1. Solution number 2, 1.5 meters keno with sticks. So the above works better than anything else anyone could ever think of. And no offense, but nobody else is that alpha compared to me. I am the most alpha, proof here. But I know what you're thinking. Andy, you fucking dickhead. I am mute and I literally can't talk. You're a fucking bigot, sexist, racist, flaunting your white privilege and completely forgetting about people like me. First of all, calm down. I didn't forget you, my honeybee, my little lamb chop, my honeysuckle. Solution number 2 is written specifically for guys like you who have lost their voice boxes or are too shy to talk, which is very alpha, by the way. More on that in my upcoming 6-part series, Why Shyness is Actually Alpha as Fuck, which is valued at $1,456, but I will be offering it for just $97 if you use my coupon code BIGALPHABALLS99. For this next part, you will need a big stick, and it must be at least 1 meter in length. The exact length has to be. Length of stick must equal 1.5 meters minus the length of your arm. So if your arm is 0.5 meters long from shoulder to fingertips, get a stick that is 1 meter long. We need the total to be 1.5 meters. Okay. You're going to use this stick in place of your hand to keno her. While you walk, reach out with the stick and tell her to hold the other end of it. Congrats. You've now escalated up to holding hands, and she's going to be getting very wet by now. And if she asks you why you brought a stick to the date, just agree and amplify, or reframe, or flip the script. What? You don't bring a stick to your date? You must be an ugly virgin. And just say this one in gray. Next, start gently stroking her shoulder with the stick. She will probably gasp at this point. Girls tend to gasp when an alpha touches them, especially if you do it with confidence. Consider hitting her with it hard to show her how confident you really are. Now she is moist as fuck. I was going to put that in bold, but capitals get the point across, I think. Actually, I don't think. I know. Alphas always just know without having to think or second guess themselves. Next, start gently caressing her face with the stick, like below. You can see here's a diagram. Me with the stick, gently caressing her face. I'm pretty sure you've noticed something. The stick is red. And why do you think that is, my alpha in training? Because red is alpha. This won't work if you don't have a red stick. I am not fucking around here, dipshit. Get a red stick before you continue. I should have written that at the top to save you some time, but a real alpha doesn't go back and edit his content. That would be beta as fuck. So now you're touching her face and she's screaming in pleasure. If she's not screaming or orgasming right now, you are doing it wrong. Move to her butt and give it a hard whack, as hard as you can, but do it softly. An alpha can be both hard and soft at the same time. Just like in the first solution, take her back to your place. If it's legal, ask for her number and then kick her out again. Again, do not have sex, especially not with the stick there. That would be a threesome, and threesomes are really beta because the more non-alphas there are in the bedroom, the more the alpha energy gets diluted. Never let your alpha energy be diluted. If you don't have a stick, you can also use a broom. Spray paint it red first. A mop works well too. You can also use that to neg her. This mop reminds me of your mum, lol. Negs don't have to make sense. They just have to be alpha and intense. Also, don't say this neg in orange. I know I said all negs need to be in orange, but a true alpha carves his own path and doesn't listen to rules. Listen to me on this rule, though. I'm actually I'm actually so alpha I can use my dick to keno on girls and still be 1.5 meters away. This is not a joke. The bathmate literally made my dick this long. Now let's get outside. Let's get some outside opinions up in this bitch. A part of my site is providing proof that the things I'm saying are accurate. So what better way than to ask a bitch for proof? One of my bitches that I let call herself my girlfriend or whatever said, a few things that a couple of my single friends have mentioned is the fact that they're missing being keynoted and escalated on by guys during this corona lockdown. When I mentioned the idea of having a guy gently stroke their arm with a stick from a safe 1.5 meters away, they were struck by the genius of this concept and then dismayed that more guys hadn't thought of this. And Andy's note, it's because most guys are beta plebs. We agreed that it would perfectly balance practical safety while still adding a small thrill of feeling the caress of an alpha male, while not knowing what the extension of his arm could possibly carry. And by the way, just to make it clear, she's not my girlfriend, but she's just some bitch that I fuck when I get bored. I've got a lot of abundance, so I don't need a girlfriend. And if she reads this and comments something in the comments below about how she really is my girlfriend and how we're in love and we've been dating for like 2 years or some bullshit like that, ignore her. She's just trying to shit test all of you. So there you have it, fellow alpacas. Go out there and keno like hell without using your hand. That is beta and illegal. If you manage to get some kiss closes and number closes, Facebook accounts and email addresses count too. Post them below and let me know how many plates you're going to be spinning soon. Exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, blah, blah, blah. Alpha Andy. The end. Well done. I like that article. I haven't read that in full for years. It's been a while since I even forgot what was in there. I amused myself. This bit here in pink, Imi actually wrote this. I showed her the whole article and I was like, can you write a couple of paragraphs and like go along with the theme of the article? And she like straight up wrote that herself. I thought that was hilarious. So yeah, as Rishav said, guys, there are literally articles like this. Yes, I was just pulling from what I'd read on the Red Pill. Like a lot of the points that I put in that article, where I was obviously being silly, I have literally been told in the Red Pill. There was at one point I had a foursome. So me and 3 women all had sex together. 3 women I was dating. We had this great experience. We took pictures. We took videos. The women were fine. I blurred their faces out. I was like, can I post this on the internet? They were like, yeah, that's fine. Blur my tattoos, blur my face. I posted it. I posted it in the Red Pill, and I posted all this shit of like, guys, thank you, Red Pill, for helping me get to this point. You guys taught me to believe in myself and go out there. And me and 3 women had this like foursome, basically almost an orgy. And it was beautiful. It was amazing. It was better than I could have expected. They loved it. We had fun. Here's how all of you can do the same thing too. Here's my step-by-step process of how I made this happen and blah, blah, blah. Here's screenshots from each of the girls afterwards saying, I had fun. That was amazing. Like, yes, you can use this in an article on your website, blah, blah, blah. I put all that on the Red Pill and there were literally comments saying, why are you posting this, bro? Like, it's beta as fuck to be this obsessed with women. Bro, like, it's beta to have a foursome. You should be in the gym. You should be working on your own self-improvement. I don't understand why you're wasting time having fucking foursomes and bragging about it. And I was like, so wait, you're saying it's beta to have sex with 3 women at once? Like, that was the moment where I was like, okay, maybe I'm not going to take the Red Pill so seriously anymore. Like, it's become a parody, or maybe it always was and I never noticed. It's become a parody of itself. So that's what I put in the article. Like, don't under any circumstances have sex with a woman. That's beta as fuck. Do not do it. So yeah, as Rishav says, there are little articles like that. And yes, people do believe in it. And yes, you've seen it a lot, and so have I, man. All right, we'll finish up on that note. Love and hug and kisses to all of you. You're all amazing, cool, interesting, brilliant, fucking killer, legendary people. I'll run the outro video and I will see all of you tomorrow.
You've been sitting around trying to achieve your goals on your own, making a little bit of progress, but nowhere near what you know you're capable of. Time to get serious. Ravi got serious by joining my coaching, following in my footsteps, and creating his own kick-ass coaching business, motivating other people and changing the world. Joe had a ton of sex and learned to open up deeply with women. He started his own successful photography and dating business, quit his job, and he's earning lots of money. Jack went all in with his sex life, moved across the country to pursue his dreams, had a bunch of wild sex and a threesome, quit porn, and made connections in the LA party scene. Click the link to coaching in the description below. It's time to go all in with this thing and do this thing for real.